Welcome into CHGO Bets Daily, coming to you live from our house on beloved Home Run Derby Day. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. You can follow me on Twitter at Sean_W_Anderson. There's also the other apps out there. I'm a posable dummy prop. So follow me there. That's Cody Delmendo. You can follow him on Twitter at Cody_CHGO. We are partners in degeneracy. Shout out to James Orlando, who's already hanging out with us in the chat. If you are, make sure you're hitting the thumbs up button. And we got our producer, Stephen Nicholas, hanging out with us today. And I am very, very excited for today's Home Run Derby. We've been talking about it for a while, just because ever since Luis Robert Jr. threw his name in the hat and he's the #1 overall seed, my interest has peaked. Cody, I think this is the greatest day since 2005 when the White Sox won the World Series on October 26th. So it's a normal chill one for me.
What was your favorite part of the time between the White Sox winning it all and today, Sean?
Well, I graduated grammar school, high school, college, got my first real job, got my job here, got a girlfriend, kissed a girl. I don't know, anything. I liked having my first sip of beer. How about that? In
there you go.
2005 and 2003. Honestly, it was Luis Robert Jr.'s home run in the 2020 playoffs off Mike Fiers, where he hit it 487 feet. Let's start there. Kind of a fun one to start. Longest home run of the day. You were asking me, Stephen, yesterday if Luis would break his own personal record of 487. The line is set on DraftKings Sportsbook at 490.5. What I want to let people know is take the under 490, but if you see juiced odds at like Caesars at 488 at plus 100, I don't hate it. But really the last time it's gone over 490 was when the Home Run Derby took place in
Seattle.
Course.
Oh, of course.
So literally a space station. So it's tough to get it over 490. And I think too, with the timer, it is difficult to crank out those longer home runs. So I would lean, if you're looking over under on longest home run, probably under 490.5.
So you don't think Luis could break his own personal best?
No, because that was in Oakland off of Mike Fiers, where he was actually throwing it like 90 miles per hour. So I think that's another thing too, is there's not also the pitch velocity that's coming with some of these distance you see. So that's why I'm scared for Mookie Betts. I'm terrified for Mookie Betts. We see the matchups, Luis Robert Jr. versus Adley Rutschman, and then it's Adolis Garcia versus Randy Arozarena. That's the 3-6 matchup. Then the 2-7 matchup is Pete Alonso versus hometown kid Julio Rodriguez, and then I think I got my numbers all messed up. 4-5 is Adolis and Randy. 2-7 is Pete and J-Rod, and then 3-6 is Vlad Jr. Versus Mookie Betts. But that one, Cody, I'm terrified for, because I've been doing some research, and Mookie Betts does have 26 home runs. I think he leads or is tied for the lead in the entire field in home runs this season. His average distance on home runs is under 400 feet. He has 26 home runs.
Yeah. I know. I watched him hit.
He's going to be hitting wall scrapers all day.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't look the type, right? He's obviously a great player, but it's not like he's known for hitting moonshot homers, like no doubt homers. So
he said his wife asked him to be in it, so he's going to be in it. I mean, that doesn't really sound like a guy that wants to be there. I understand Luis Robert Jr. Doesn't want to be there, but we can look at the top of the bracket. The two guys that talked him in are Garcia and Arozarena, two other guys that were born in Cuba. So his Cuban countrymen kind of talking him in like, hey, wouldn't it be fun to do this? So while Luis doesn't really want to be here, that bottom of the bracket is a nightmare. And I think it's very clear that Luis Robert is or should advance all the way to the finals, because what you're looking for in this matchup is exit velocity on home runs. Vlad leads the pack at like 109, but he only has 13. Pete Alonso second at like 107, and he's got 26. And then Luis is third at like 105.8. J-Rod's fourth at 105.1. You see the consistent exit velocities from Luis Robert. He has a high barrel percentage. A catcher's never won. He's going up against Adley Rutschman. Like, this should be an easy round one win for Luis Robert Jr. So I do like it for some parlay pieces. And then for Garcia versus Arozarena, Garcia should clearly dominate Arozarena. I would be surprised if Arozarena was able to crank out homers. So then it's Robert versus Garcia. And again, the difficulty of the matchup with Rutschman going first. If Rutschman sets a low bar of like 13, Robert could have an easy first round where, Garcia is trying to work himself to hit 25 homers. So I just think that it's a really easy way for Robert to advance, where if you're looking at Vlad Jr. and you're looking at Pete Alonso, these guys that are clear favorites, and even J-Rod has now surpassed Luis Robert as a favorite, or at least tying him at plus 500. I don't think there's a reason why you shouldn't be putting money on Luis Robert Jr. Obviously, I got the hat on, but it just seems like he's got the easiest way to the finals. And we've seen even in 2019, you could have the best home run derby ever in Vlad Guerrero Jr. hitting 91 homers and still losing it. Right? I mean, it is how you do for the entire tournament and not in just one run, and the totality of your shots. And I think that it's going to be tough for the guys in the bottom half of this bracket to actually win. So I really think it's an easy one for Luis Robert, because as long as he's got the motivation to beat Adolis Garcia or Randy Arozarena, I think that's like the true finals for Luis Robert Jr. I mean, he's just got to beat a gassed Pete Alonso, Vladdy, or J-Rod.
Yeah, I mean, you make a lot of good points. He obviously, I do think he's coming in a little bit under the radar, just because it's not like he's been there before, and I don't know. It's not like he's on the national scene every day, but he's having a great year. I don't hate it. I mean, the odds are good for him, but I'm taking J-Rod to win the Derby just because it's in Seattle.
Right.
I'm not gonna. I don't have any like. I feel like everyone wants to root for him, so I'll root for him.
He had 81 homers last year.
Yeah, and he did do well last year.
That's
yeah.
pretty good. I kind of forgot about that.
Against Pete Alonso in that first round, so I'm like, well, I'm ready for that to, like, that bet to be dead in the matter of 20 minutes at the beginning of the Derby. But
right.
Well, I don't know. I just think that's like that extra energy that'll come from the crowd for him will be big for him. And I do think that, he still hasn't forgot about last year. He had a really good chance to win last year. And, it's kind of what happened with, like what you said, you could hit as many more homers than anyone else and still lose just because of how they do it now. But yeah, I'm going with J-Rob. And then, like, this is more of like, I feel like of growing of the game bet. I personally would love to see J-Rod versus Arozarena in the finals, just because Arozarena he was such an electric factory during the World Baseball Classic. And they just
2020 World Series too.
Yeah. I mean, he was, or he has been a fun player to watch. So I think those two would be the funnest finals matchup to watch in this Derby, personally. I'm sure not everyone agrees with that, but for me, that's what I would want. So that's what I'm betting on.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one thing too is, like, on DraftKings, and I have some bets on Caesars as well, for exactas. So if you want to bet, J-Rod over Arozarena exactly, I think you could probably get that to like 30-1. I have 3 exactas out because, I bet $3. I think the lowest payout is $17. So, we're making profit there.
On DraftKings, I got Arozarena versus J-Rod in the finals at plus 1,500. Okay. So that's not to, like, decide a winner. It's just the exact final, like what you think, right?
Gotcha.
So that's what
I was actually thinking that was low because I thought you were picking a winner there. Do you have to pick a winner? Like, if you're leaning J-Rod to win?
I did take a winner in J-Rod to win, and I used the DraftKings Sportsbook boost for the Derby today. It takes it from plus 500 to plus 750. And then in the just for the exact final, we're going J-Rod versus Arozarena. So
hell yeah. The exactas I have are J-Rod to beat Robert at 17-1, Robert to beat J-Rod at 22-1, or then Vlad Guerrero to beat Luis Robert. Also, I like that. Vlad Guerrero Jr., Luis Robert Jr. I like junior versus junior. Also, if Vladdy wins it, first ever father-son duo to win the Derby. So that's always an interesting angle there as well. That's at 12-1. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to get a little bit more into what I'm using my 50% DraftKings boost on. And we'll get into a little bit more odds and props, and make sure if you have any questions, hit them up in the comments. But I heard an interesting commercial on the radio when I was listening to the Sox game. It was from our friends over at Bird Dogs, and it was kind of an anti-commercial saying Bird Dogs won't make you look good. Bird Dogs doesn't have stretch khaki shorts that are designed to fit slimmer through the thigh and leg, giving you a truly sculpted look. Bird Dogs don't do the exact same thing as Lululemon, but fit way better. They don't fit way better than regular shorts that are made of stiff, restricting cotton. You get the gist, right? These shorts are fantastic. And the one thing, too, is you are going to look good and you are going to feel good. We are in the age of athleisure, and there is no reason why we shouldn't be taking full advantage of the fashion science development. They have developed good-looking khaki shorts that don't have a zipper, that don't have a button, that aren't going to make you feel uncomfortable, because again, they are made of this fantastic cloud knit fabric that just looks like khakis but stretches, so you get a way slimmer fit without having to sacrifice movement. And again, you don't have to sacrifice comfortability. So go to birddogs.com/CHGO or enter promo code CHGO for a free Yeti style tumbler with your order. That's birddogs.com/CHGO or promo code CHGO for a free Yeti style tumbler. You won't want to take your Bird Dogs off. We promise you. Again, use code CHGO for a free Yeti style tumbler with your order at birddogs.com. Thank you to our friends over at Bird Dogs. All right, let's get into all the props here, Steven. Because I got what I'm using my 50% DraftKings boost. So we'll just go to the first rounds here. I got two parlays on these guys to win their first round matchup. That's it. So basically, I'm just picking, the semifinals. I'm picking all the quarterfinal winners. The first one will be Robert versus Rutschman. I think that's an easy win for Robert. Again, a catcher's never won this event. Rutschman has the lowest average exit velocity on home runs. He is just not a home run hitter. He is a guy that, he's going to hone in on the strike zone. And if you make a mistake at 95 miles per hour, he's going to put a great swing on it, and he'll be able to get enough lift to take it out. But Luis Robert Jr., moonshots. We're taking Robert to advance. Then Adley Garcia versus Randy Arozarena. Again, Garcia and Arozarena, I think there's going to be that hype for Arozarena to beat Garcia because of the connection that they have. And they're also in the Cardinals farm system too. Are you happy those guys aren't Cardinals, Cody?
I'm very happy. Yeah. Makes me laugh a lot.
Garcia, though, has been red hot. He has the highest barrier percentage in this tournament out of the 8 contestants. I think he also has the most homers in the past week. So I'll go Garcia to win that matchup. Then J-Rod versus Pete Alonso. You like J-Rod. I like J-Rod. Who doesn't like J-Rod? 81 homers. And he's going to have to set the tone in that matchup. If Alonso has a bad round, if he's not able to match J-Rod, he's done. I think at plus 140, and make sure you're shopping around too, because plus 140 is pretty competitive. I also did see plus 145 for the first round matchup for J-Rod, but I really do like J-Rod to win the first round. I don't know if he can do it twice and beat the two gods of this event in Pete Alonso and Vladimir Guerrero Jr., but I do like him to win the first round matchup. And then Mookie Betts versus Vlad Guerrero Jr. Kind of poor Mookie Betts. I mean, hey, he gets to show up. He's already going to be at the All-Star break. He's going to get destroyed in this. He might hit 5 homers, and Vlad Guerrero Jr. is going to absolutely just tear him up. We used the 50% profit boost to take it from 7 and 7.8 or basically 7.9 to 1 to 12 to 1. 10 wins you 128. But if that doesn't work because maybe Randy Arozarena ekes out Adley Garcia, or maybe J-Rod doesn't live up to the hometown hype. We do have this parlay, a 2-leg parlay that is plus money. $5 wins you about 10 and some change. Robert Jr. to advance and Guerrero Jr. to advance. I think they have the easiest matchups, and you're giving me plus money. Why not? Guerrero Jr. again has the highest average exit velocity on home runs this year out of any home run derby participant, and Robert Jr. is facing a catcher. So there you go. And then I got some props here, just some quick ones. The core four, as Stephen called it. Mookie Betts is not hitting a home run further than 440 feet. So you're going to give me 19 and a half feet at minus 115. Use your 50% DraftKings boost if you haven't yet on that, just straight up. It's plus money. It's probably around plus 143. That's some nice money right there. That's basically free money. I don't understand that prop. Take it. Mookie under 22 and a half home runs, minus 125. You could have put this at minus 15 and a half. He is not beating Vlad Guerrero Jr. He is not hitting 15 home runs in the first round. Under 22 and a half. Thank you very much. Rutschman under 20 and a half home runs, minus 125. I don't even know if he's hitting from the left-hand side, the right-handed side. If he hits from the left-handed side, he's probably doing himself a disfavor. However, Luis Gonzalez won the event as a left-hander in 2001, beating Sammy Sosa in the home run derby at Safeco. So I would be surprised for him to get over 20, is all I'm saying, at minus 125, and I don't think he's getting past Robert. So can he hit 20 home runs in the first round? I don't think so. And then Arozarena. I like Garcia to win the matchup. I mentioned Garcia to win that matchup. I think he probably has to hit 25 home runs. So you're giving me a prop of Arozarena at under 28 and a half at minus 115. I like that number a lot. I would be surprised if he got over, and I think the only way that gets beat is if a swing off happens between Arozarena and Garcia. That's plus money if you do want to bet on a swing off, but that's real specific. But those are all my bets. I did way too much research on the home run derby.
Yeah, I like a lot what you got here. I'm a little nervous about Adolis Garcia. I really am. He's never been on like big stage like this. Rosarena's been on a big stage like this before. I think he could surprise you a little bit.
Yeah.
Mookie Betts, he's like, I agree. Like, I don't think he's gonna hit 460 feet. But I don't know. He's one of the best players in the game. I just feel like he always arrives for like moments like these. But yeah, does he want to be here? Does he care about winning this? I don't know. So I don't hate them. I'm just like, it just feels weird to take an under on Mookie Betts.
I get it, but that's the thing is like you're betting against the brand, but he's not a home run hitter. Like he all of his homers are dead center or pull, which is good for T-Mobile, formerly Safeco. But his furthest home run. I'm now going to look this up because I don't think in a game. Shit, I can do postseason too. We're going to do postseason too. All right, Cody, we're going to make sure that you want me to do spring training. We're going to do spring training too. All right, we're going to see if Mookie Betts. Hey, we'll do All-Star game too. Who cares? All right, we'll see if he's ever hit a homer that far. All right. Because I would be surprised if he's ever hit one like past 535, 435. He's just so small. Like that's the thing with him and Arozarena. It's just like I don't think that their frames are good enough for this this event. 452.
That's the farthest home run he's ever hit.
Yeah, 452, 440, 438, 437, and 434 in game series in game 6 of the World Series. So, and that's bottom of the 8th. So you talk about rising the occasion. That's a bomb.
Yeah. Well, I do like the under. I do like the under on how far he hits it. I do like that. I don't know. I feel like he could surprise us in terms of performance tonight.
Maybe. He's like an insane athlete. I mean, he's like one of the best bowlers in the world. He was an insane basketball player in high school. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Mookie Betts showed up, but he's going up against. If he's going up against Rutschman, then maybe he's going up against Vlad Guerrero Jr.
Yeah. I
mean, the guy who has the most homers in the event.
I just remember last year, me and you sat on this thing and we're like, oh, Kyle Schwarber's going to demolish Albert Pujols. And then he lost to Albert Pujols in the first round. And I don't want that to happen to us again, man.
No, you're right. I get it, but it was 20-19, so it was a tight one there, and that was a swing off. So like it wasn't crazy. It was a tight one. Soto defeated Jose Ramirez, and Jose Ramirez, is kind of more of the lower exit velocity guys on home runs. Corey Seager, same thing. He had a lower average exit velocity on home runs. And Acuna and Alonso were tight, but Alonso again is just the guy when it comes to this event. I don't know. I don't hate Garcia to hit the longest homer. I think Garcia, J-Rod, Robert, Guerrero, and Alonso can win. Everyone else, I think you could write off. But then it's really what 3 of those guys are in the bottom half. I just think it makes a lot of sense to bet on Robert. The one other promo that I would want to throw out, Bet Rivers does have a promo, and it is like an insurance bet for the home run derby. And I think the minimum bet is 10, max is 25. But it's like insurance for the home run derby. And here it is. Receive a bonus bet percentage on your wager equal to the total number of home runs your player records. So my thought is Robert gets to the finals and he has the ability to hit 50 home runs that way. So that's the play is, I'm betting on Robert to win the Derby. And if he does, hey, we get, an outright winner there. But if not, hopefully there is a bonus bet return of 50% or so. So, just throwing out all the promos out there. But I think the 2 best ones are Bet Rivers and then DraftKings Sportsbook, where you do get the 50% boost. And you could use it on what Cody's using it on, which is the J-Rod to win.
J-Rod to win. Let's go.
And then you could also use it on Mookie Betts under distance or total homer props or on the 4-pick parlay that I'm doing. Hopefully we gave you guys enough bets. Steven, anything else you want to add?
No, I'm actually going to ride with Cody on this one. I'm taking J-Rod to win at home. He had such an impressive derby last year. He just tuckered out at the end. I did the same thing you did, Cody. I took the 50% boost on it. I do really like your bets. I like your Mookie play. I actually just bet that during the show. I like the under on his longest home run.
J-Rod is going to have the same pitcher as last year, and then Rosarena's pitcher's never thrown in this event. Robert's pitcher's never thrown in this event, and then Garcia, the third base coach for the Rangers, is throwing, and he has thrown in this event. So he's thrown at Joey Gallo before.
I like that you went so deep as to look at who's pitching.
I know too much, and I better win money. And if I don't, I'm going to cry on this show tomorrow, and I'm not going to bet on the All-Star game, and I'm going to throw a fit like a child. Goodbye.
Can't wait.
I talk to you when we're millionaires.